Welcome to the world of project management. Project management is the act of directing the efforts of a team to achieve all project objectives within the time limits stipulated. Project management's objective is to accomplish a project that fulfills the needs of the client. The purpose of project management is often to modify or reform the client's brief to satisfy the client's objectives in a feasible manner. Once the client's objectives are defined, they should impact all decisions made by individuals participating in the project. Many companies now adopt project management to focus on goals and overcome obstacles, increasing their chances of success. By the time you go through the project management process, planning plays an important role in the success of a project. So today in this session, we will start with the planning phase of the project life cycle, so let us start this session with the agenda. Hi guys. This is Eric from Invensis Learning. Welcome to our YouTube channel. If you are not subscribed to our channel yet, do subscribe and click on the bell icon for regular updates. We will start today's session with an introduction and a brief explanation of the project life cycle, followed by phases of the life cycle. After that, we will discuss what project planning is and the processes involved in it. Post that we will discuss project planning tools. After that, we will discuss the documents included in project planning. Finally, we will conclude this session with the creation of the project plan. Sounds interesting, right? So without any delay, let's get started. As we discussed in the introduction that we would hear a lot about planning and project management, so let us explore it in simple terms. Planning is a process of estimating the cost, time, and resources required for a task to finish from scratch. Planning is quite often in everyone's day-to-day activities, and planning can be anything. It can be a holiday trip planning, and it can be planning your work. It can be planning your career. Similarly, a project requires planning to achieve success. So before going on with our main topic, project planning, we will understand some of the prerequisites for project planning. So let's start with the project life cycle. The project management life cycle describes high-level processes for successfully completing a project. According to Project Management Institute research, for every $1 billion invested in projects by companies in the United States, $122 million was wasted, leading to inadequate project performance. And as 57% of failed projects due to a communication breakdown. Wasted money and resources can be avoided with effective project management. Project management experts come up with the idea for a project, define its goals, plan for its execution, and guide it to completion during the project management life cycle phases. In the project management life cycle, there are 5 important phases. They are: initiation phase, planning phase, execution phase, controlling and monitoring, closure phase. Let us discuss these phases in detail. Initiation phase. The initiation phase signifies the start of the project. The project's concept is explored and developed during this phase. The purpose of this phase is to assess the project's feasibility. Then, prospective project sponsors evaluate the proposal and, if approved, provide the necessary funding. Planning phase. Project plans are documented during the planning phase, project deliverables and requirements are defined, and the project schedule is created. It includes developing a set of plans to guide your team through the project's implementation and closure phases. Then our next phase is implementation. Implementation phase. The implementation phase entails carrying out the project plan. To accomplish the project plan's objectives, the project manager will organize and lead project resources. It is the project manager's responsibility to direct and manage each activity as the project progresses. Monitoring and controlling phase. Controlling and monitoring project work entails comparing actual project performance to planned project management activities. It is primarily a control function that occurs at all stages of a project. Then finally, we have the closure phase. Closure phase. The final phase of the project life cycle is the project closure phase. During this phase, you will formally close your project and report to your sponsor on its overall success. Project closure includes handing over deliverables to customers, delivering documents to the businesses, canceling supplier contracts, releasing workers and equipment, alerting stakeholders of the project's completion. These are the 4 phases of the project life cycle. Today, in this session, we will discuss project planning. So let's start with, what is project planning? A project is divided into 5 stages: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and controlling, and closure. Planning is the second phase of the project life cycle, in which a plan is developed following the initiation phase, so that the execution process can begin. For the whole project management process, the project plan serves as a roadmap. Project planning tells everyone where you're going and how you're going to get there. Project planning is critical to the project lifecycle. Project plans are documented during the planning phase, project deliverables and requirements are defined, and the project schedule is created. It includes developing a set of plans to guide your team through the project's implementation and closure phases. The plans developed during this phase will assist you in managing time, cost, quality, changes, risk, and other issues. They will also assist you in controlling staff and external suppliers to ensure that the project is completed on time, within budget, and on schedule. Now, let us start with the purpose of project planning. The project planning phase is sometimes difficult for a project manager, since you must make informed predictions regarding the employees, resources, and equipment needed to finish the project. You may also need to organize your communications and procurement efforts and recruit any third-party contractors. The project planning phase's purpose is to determine your company's needs, determine the cost, schedule, deliverables list, and delivery dates, create resource plans, obtain management approval before moving on to the next phase. This is all about the introduction to project planning, and now we will discuss the process involved in project planning. The following are the fundamental processes involved in project planning: scope planning, work breakdown structure, schedule planning, resource planning, budget planning, procurement planning, risk management, quality planning, communication planning. So let's discuss them in detail, starting with scope planning. Scope planning. Before commencing any task, you should always know what has to be done. You have a team of individuals, and you need to know what they're going to accomplish to fulfill the project's objectives. The process of scope planning is the initial stage in scope management. Project scope planning focuses on outlining all of the work required to meet the project's objectives. The idea is that when you start a project, you should have a clear image of the work that needs to be done on it, and that you should maintain that scope up to current and record it in the project scope management plan as the project develops. To learn more about scope management, visit our YouTube channel. Moving on, we will discuss the work breakdown structure. Work breakdown structure. A work breakdown structure is a strategy for finishing a large, multi-step project in project management. It is a method of dividing and conquering large projects to complete them more quickly and efficiently. A work breakdown structure is intended to make a large project more manageable. Breaking it down into smaller chunks allows different team members to work on it simultaneously, resulting in higher team productivity and easier project management. To learn more about work breakdown structure, visit our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon for regular updates. Now, let us discuss schedule planning. Schedule planning. A project schedule is a timeline that displays the start and finish dates of all project activities, how they are related, and who is accountable for delivery, usually team members or other resources. It is a residing document that is created during the preliminary planning stage. The approved project schedule serves as a baseline against which to work, but it is maintained and updated as things change throughout the project. For more information on scheduling and other project management concepts, enroll with our course at invensislearning.com. Next, we will discuss resource planning. Resource planning. The process of allocating tasks to team members based on their capacity, skill sets, and best fit for the job is known as resource planning. It maximizes efficiency by assisting teams in managing utilization rates, tracking capacity, and monitoring progress to keep projects on budget and track. With resource planning, you can organize your team to know what to work on and when. In addition, a resource planner can assist you in accurately managing capacity and your team's time. To learn more about resource management, do enroll with our course at invensislearning.com. Now, we will start with budget planning. Budget planning. Money is at the heart of every project. If you had a larger budget, you could probably hire more people to complete your project faster and deliver more. As a result, no project plan is complete until a budget is developed. But, regardless of how large or small your project is or how many resources and activities are involved, the process for determining the bottom line is always the same. It is critical to developing detailed estimates for all project costs. Once this is completed, the cost estimates are added together to form a budget plan. While the work is still being done, it is now possible to track the project in relation to the budget. Interested to know how budgeting is done? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon for regular updates. Now, we will discuss procurement planning. Procurement planning. Procurement management proceeds in a logical sequence. You plan what you need to contract first, and then you plan how you'll do it. Following that, you send your contract requirements to sellers. They compete for the opportunity to work with you. You choose the best one and then sign a contract with them. Once the work begins, you must keep an eye on it to follow the contract. When the work is completed, you sign the contract and complete all of the paperwork. You must begin with a plan for the entire project. Before you start with anything else, you should consider all of the work that will be contracted out for your project. In addition, you should plan ahead of time for any purchases or acquisitions. This is all about planning procurement. Interested to know how procurement planning is done? Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon for regular updates. Let us discuss risk management plan. Risk management. Even the most carefully planned project can go wrong. No matter how well you plan, unexpected problems will always arise. Team members become ill or quit, resources you rely on become unavailable, and even the weather can throw you for a loop. So, do you ever feel powerless in the face of an issue you don't understand? No. You may use risk planning to identify possible difficulties that could derail your project, assess how probable they are to occur, and take steps to mitigate the risks you can't avoid. Risk is any unexpected event or condition that may have an impact on your project. Not all risks are negative. Some events, such as discovering an easier way to do an activity, or conditions, such as lower prices for certain materials, can benefit your project. But, when this happens, we call it an opportunity, but it's still considered a risk. To learn more about risk management, refer to the video on risk management on our YouTube channel. Now, let us start with quality planning. Quality planning. It is not enough to ensure that a project is completed on time and within budget. You must ensure that the product you create meets the needs of your stakeholders. Quality means ensuring that you build what you promised and that you deliver it as efficiently as possible. That means avoiding making too many mistakes and ensuring that your project is always focused on delivering the finest outcome possible. Everyone understands what quality is. However, how the term is used in everyday life differs from how it is used in project management. Quality is managed on a project in the same way that the triple constraint, scope, cost, and schedule is managed by setting goals and taking measurements. So in quality management, planning is required, and this plan consists of the quality levels that the stakeholders believe are acceptable. Refer to our YouTube channel and click on the bell icon for regular updates to learn more about quality management planning. Communication planning. Communication management entails keeping everyone informed. The communications planning procedure includes determining the sorts of information to be sent, who will get it, how it will be conveyed, and when it will be released and distributed. Because communication makes up 90% of a project manager's responsibility, making sure that everyone gets the appropriate message at the right time is crucial. The first step in developing your communication strategy is determining what type of communication your stakeholders require from the project to make sound decisions. This is referred to as the communication requirements analysis. Your project will generate a large amount of information. You don't want to overwhelm your stakeholders with too much information. It is a project manager's job to figure out what they consider as valuable. Communicating important information does not always imply painting a rosy picture. Communications to stakeholders can include either good or bad news. The point is that you don't want to overwhelm stakeholders with information, but you do want to provide them with enough information so that they are well informed and can make good decisions. Till now, we have seen the basic processes involved in project planning. Now, let us start with the tools used in project planning. Project planning tools make it easier for everyone involved to stay on top of project requirements and deadlines. The following are a few of the most often used project management tools. GANTT Chart, PERT Chart, Critical Path Method, Work Breakdown Structure, Project Documentation. Let us discuss these tools in detail, starting with the GANTT Chart. GANTT Chart. A GANTT chart is a project management tool that helps with the planning and scheduling projects of all sizes, but they are especially useful for simplifying complex projects. Project management timelines and tasks are converted into a horizontal bar chart, displaying start and end dates, dependencies, scheduling, deadlines, how much of the task is completed per stage, and who the task owner is. When the scope changes, this is useful for keeping tasks on track with a large team and multiple stakeholders. Thus, the GANTT chart helps plan the project. Now, we will discuss the PERT chart. PERT chart. A PERT chart is a project management tool that graphically depicts a project's timeline. The Program Evaluation Review Technique, PERT, deconstructs a project's tasks for analysis. PERT charts are preferred over GANTT charts because PERT charts will identify task dependencies, but are frequently more difficult to interpret. A project manager can use a PERT chart to analyze a project's tasks and estimate the amount of time it will take to finish each activity. The project manager may use this information to figure out how long it will take to finish the project in the smallest period of time. Now, let us start with our new tool, Critical Path Method. Critical Path Method. Critical Path Analysis, CPA, is a project management technique that outlines each key task required to complete a project. It entails determining the amount of time required to complete each activity and the dependencies of each activity on any others. In recent years, CPA has also been referred to as the critical path method, which is used to set a realistic project deadline and track its progress along the way. Work Breakdown Structure. A work breakdown structure, WBS, is a deliverable-oriented hierarchical breakdown of the work to be completed by the project team to fulfill project objectives and generate the required deliverables. A work breakdown structure, WBS, is the foundation of effective project planning, execution, controlling, monitoring, and reporting. All of the work in the WBS must be identified, estimated, scheduled, and budgeted. To learn more about WBS, visit our YouTube channel and subscribe to our channel for regular updates. Now, we will discuss project documentation. Project documentation. Project documentation is recording key project details and creating the documents needed to implement them successfully. Simply, it's an umbrella term for all of the documents produced during the project. Project documents can take many forms, including project proposals, and business cases, and project plans, and status reports. These are the major tools and techniques used in the project planning phase. Now, let us start with how to create a project plan. Before starting with project plan, let us find out the documents that are included in the project planning. Now, let us discuss the documents that are included in the project planning are Project Charter, Statement of Work, Work Breakdown Structure, Project Plan. So let us discuss in detail. Project Charter. Project Charter in project management is simply a document that formally authorizes an ongoing project with a clear concise of its goals. This acts as an overview of the project, where goals and objectives are defined clearly. For more information on the Project Charter, check out the Project Charter video on our YouTube channel. Then we will start with our second document required for project planning. That is Statement of Work. Statement of Work. A Statement of Work, SOW, is a document that describes the needs of a certain project. It specifies the scope of work, project deliverables, dates, work location, and payment terms and conditions. Now, we will discuss the work breakdown structure. Work breakdown structure. A work breakdown structure, WBS, is intended to make a large project more manageable. Breaking it down into smaller chunks allows different team members to work on it simultaneously, resulting in higher team productivity and easier project management. Project Plan. A project plan is a set of formal papers that specify the project's execution and control stages. The plan incorporates risk management, resource management, communication concerns, and scope, cost, and schedule baselines. The project plan is also known as the project management plan. We have seen the documents included in project planning. And now, we will discuss the project plan in detail. There are 7 essential steps for creating a project plan. They are: identify and meet stakeholders, define scope, set and prioritize objectives, determine deliverables, create a project schedule, risk analysis, set progress guidelines. So let us start with the steps in detail. Identify and meet stakeholders. It is an important phase of the project for creating a plan. Here in this phase, the project manager will meet the stakeholders and understand their requirements, goals, and objectives of the project, along with the impact of stakeholders. Thus, the project manager will have a clear picture of the project. Then after this phase, the project manager will start with defining the scope. Defining scope. The component of project planning that involves identifying and recording a list of precise project goals, deliverables, activities, costs, and deadlines is known as the project scope. A project manager is responsible for defining the scope of the project and getting approval from the stakeholders. After defining the scope, the project manager will consult stakeholders and get the priorities addressed. Set and prioritize objectives. It is important to address the prioritized objectives in the projects, as they can be the core functionalities of the deliverables. Therefore, the project manager will add the prioritized tasks in this project management plan. Then, after prioritizing the objectives, it is equally important to list down the deliverables from this project. So our next step is determining the deliverables. Determine deliverables. In this phase, the project manager will list down the deliverables that will be delivered at the end of the project, and list the deliverables that can be ready after each phase of the project. With this step, we have goals and objectives, along with the deliverables list, and now it is time to create a schedule for these deliverables. So our next step is to create a project schedule. Project schedule. The project schedule specifies when the various tasks of a project are to begin and end. The project schedule helps in measuring project progress and creating progress reports. Now, we will discuss the risk analysis for the project and the project plan. Risk analysis. Identifying risks and considering how to address them is a critical step in project planning. Specific steps should be considered to prevent risks from occurring or to mitigate their impact. After this risk analysis, it is important to set the progress guidelines with communications. So, our next step is setting progress guidelines. There must be a communication strategy in place to keep stakeholders informed of project progress. This can be done on a monthly, weekly, or daily basis so that all parties involved can keep track of the progress. Thus, a project plan is created. This is all about project planning and its importance. I hope you enjoyed the video. To learn more about the project management concepts, do enroll with us at invensislearning.com, and feel free to express your thoughts in the comments section. Our experts will guide you with your queries. And subscribe to our channel for regular updates on videos. This is Eric from Invensis Learning. Signing off.